Well, Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and I would like to introduce to you Miko Y. Marchish. And
Hi.
Hey, you are developing this game called NevenTale.
Yes.
And now, NevenTale is a pretty interesting name. It actually kind of gives a little bit of a clue as to what this game is that you have in development. Can you tell us a little bit about the game?
Yes, hi. So basically, the idea of this game is to create the never-ending tale, a game made up of all tales in life that, everything that was created by a human being and written down could simply fit this game as an Easter egg. And we want to create a role-playing game with a universe that would be constantly expanded by the player community, making something we could simply call the never-ending tale. And what we want to achieve with this system is to create the first MMORPG without grind, without time sinks, concentrating only on the storyline.
And so, is this so no levels, or how do you do character development if there's no grinding?
Well, it would be a lie to say that there will be no grind at all, because even in Skyrim there is some grind. But you don't really have to concentrate on leveling your character up to progress through the game, because there are all those easy, hard modes for Skyrim alone. But of course you'll progress your character, you'll level up along the way. But the main feature of the game, well, the most important thing that will be high scored will have no correspondence to your skills, and you'll simply have to go through all the quests that are in the game to complete it. And it will not be, killing thousands of slacks like quests in World of Warcraft where you're told, okay, someone stole my ring, go slay 100 dwarves until you find one. So there will be nothing like this in this game. We want to go for custom created content by the players and the studio. And
And now, is this? Do you envision this to be one big world, or will be servers, or?
so basically the idea is to split the development into many stages. So in the beginning we want to have multiple worlds, just like in most MMOs. So the players will be distributed evenly among all the servers. And as the map gets bigger, we'll simply close down the server one by one. Or if we simply get more players, then we'll open up multiple servers so that they can amass all the people that want to play the game. But eventually we want to come up with a few massive servers that will simply accumulate all the players at once. So that's the main idea. And the game, if you ask for the game world, as in the world environment that you'll be residing, the idea is simply to create a small world that would be instance within a large dome. So if anyone played Gothic 1, the concept is explained the way we want to do it. So you'll be trapped within an area inside of a large fantasy world. So the area you're accessible is simply going to be, for instance, 1 kilometer in diameter. And then we'll simply add another area like this, and another one, and another one. And after a while, we'll simply start merging those areas to uncover a large portion of the map that is out there. Everything happens in real time. There are other cities and other NPCs, you just cannot access them. And after that, we simply want to uncover the entire map of the dual continents. That's how we call it.
And I actually have an image of the map, which will be at the end of this video for anybody who's wanting to see that. Now, tell me, as a player, that is this game medieval fantasy?
Well, it's not really medieval fantasy. It's more of a high fantasy genre itself. So anything that could correspond to Skyrim or simply Tolkien, as in Lord of the Rings or Hobbit, then that's the thing. Of course, we want to add some steampunk to the whole system, and we actually want to redesign some RPG settings in this whole game. I can uncover the lead writer, who is Noah Dudley. He worked on so many RPG titles and is a video game industry veteran who worked on over 75 titles in his life, which is outstanding. I mean,
that's quite a lot.
I had a problem to write his bio because I didn't know what I should write, but I can say that he created multiple worlds in his career. I can give you some titles like the Swashbuckling Tales for Whiskets, Pirates of the Spanish Main. He wrote, I think it's 12 books for this series alone that were published, so that's a lot. And he's even though he did not work on any MMO, he will make sure that the world the players will receive will be
storyline. I think storyline can go from single player to multiplayer, no problem.
Exactly, yeah. But, with MMO writing, it's like the fact that the writer has to keep some things in mind, like the fact that there will be multiple stories at once, and you need to amass this. But he'll simply make sure that the world itself, from which we'll create the game, will be completely outstanding and unique. So one thing that I can say is that we want to scientifically explain as much as we can. It's not like the paladin will say, "Holy shield," and I'm immortal for 15 seconds. No, the whole lights magic will be explained. Everything
it's kind of like, don't they do that in like Star Wars? They explain how the Jedi, their what would appear to be magic actually works and everything. Yeah.
So I took my time to make some basis for the world. So I was the lead writer for a while. And for instance, one of the things that we simply did was there will be no electricity in this world, as since the electricity, like lighting and stuff. And the one way we could do it is simply that we will not have any magnetic ore. And without magnetic ore and metals that are simply magnets, you cannot generate electricity. But there will be thunderbolts and steampunk stuff, which will simply give you the proper feeling that should be in an RPG.
So now, so as a player, I log into the game. I see, what I've seen here looks interesting. I log in for the first time, and what do you envision that I'm seeing? What do you envision that I start beginning to do?
Login screen. That when you log in, the first thing you're gonna do is simply choose the game world that you want to choose. Well, it's common in RuneScape because there's a lobby system with all the game worlds that are themed for different things, like the role-playing world or the PvP world.
I think I'm talking more about what I'm going to play in the game. I've created my character.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm in the world for the first time.
So basically, you'll find yourself in a large building called the Arnheim Gilban's Temple, thanks to which your character race can reside in this world. Because your character is going to be something that I could say that it's going to be like a Daedra, an immortal being that simply goes into the world to do good. And you're immortal. When you die, you simply go into your temple through another dimension, and you go back to the world. But the first thing you're going to do is you'll find yourself in a massive city. We're still designing it, but we want to make it as big as possible. And probably the first thing you're going to do is head on along the tutorial how to, simply be within the world. You're going to do some quest. As in, basically anything that you can think of could fit there. We still haven't designed the first quest because we're not in the production process. We already designed some possible quests which we'll simply update during the Kickstarter campaign. But we want to make quests like there is a cutscene and you have to do something about it. You have to figure it out for yourself. It's not going to be like there's a guy with an arrow or with an exclamation mark over his head or a question mark, and then he says, there is something, accept, decline. And eventually you have to accept or you won't do anything else. And then he tells you, okay, go there, kill something. No, it will be completely different. We'll concentrate on the dialogue section of the game, and the dialogues possibly voiced by players, if everything allows it. And you'll simply go into the world and explore it. Imagine that you're going to explore the world constantly, and we'll always add more content for you to explore. You'll never be able to witness everything.
What will there be PvP?
That's an important question. Yes and no. So basically, the game is PvE. It's set to be a single-player game, as in a role-playing game. It's not. MMOs does not correspond to RPG at all. I mean, MMO is a synonym to the word PvP, kind of. Whenever you think of online arenas or MMOs, you simply think about players fighting each other. So what we want to do is we want to create a game that will be single player, and if the fans allow it, we'll implement some in-game activities like capture the flag or simply battle arena, where the players will be able to fight in instanced areas. Possibly something with teams around 8 people in each team, not bigger, because it's a limitation of the hero engine that you cannot have bigger battles than 50 players at once. Otherwise it will simply lag. But if we are able to do it with the funds we get, then we will simply be able to do PvP.
Now, you said that prior to us doing this interview, you talked a little bit about how the fans, the players, people like me who are playing the game, help develop the storyline and the content. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, so it's very hard to explain this to a person who has no idea about a game. But of course, your fans know a lot about the game, so it's not a problem. You're not investors. So,
you are talking to gamers, no problem.
Exactly, I'm saying it. So basically, I'm a user on a site called Game Dev Stack Exchange. And it's a question and answer website where you simply post questions and answers. And the difference between this board and forums is simple. It uses the same technique as Reddit, to where the people behind the website upvote the best ideas, the best answers, and the best questions instead of bumping them. So if you have a great idea, and you have an idea for a quest, let's say. Let's go to the Lord of the Rings genre. Like, you have an idea that, okay, Frodo and Sam is going to go to Mordor via car. They'll take a shorter route. They'll simply fly a plane. So you post this idea on this special board and say, would it be a great idea to have Frodo and Sam travel to Mordor with a plane? And of course, there were no planes in the Middle East. So someone will say, no, it's a bad idea because there are no planes. But on the other hand, why shouldn't they fly on this large eagle? And after this, okay, they can fly on a large eagle. And someone will possibly make a comment that, oh, well, it would be cool if they met Gandalf and other guys, so they could expand the story. But simply the player who created this content will make the final, will be the final judge of what is in the quest, and all these suggestions that are made to the quest will be edited by the player who created it. And once the quest idea receives a special amount of upvotes, I have no idea how much it will be because it's still in the alpha stage, let's say. So once it receives a significant amount of attention, we will allow the player to do it the same way we would do it inside of the game engine. Because the hero engine as an editor, just like the Unreal Engine or the creation kit for Skyrim, will do our best to allow the players to expand the game world with it. So, because
you mean that I get to develop part of the world if my quest is accepted?
Yep.
Interesting.
So, and well, you'll be able to create the world using our tools. So probably some dungeons and raids, you'll be able to do it without any, let's say, recognition from the player community. You'll be able to do it on your own. We'll simply give you the tools. So anyone will be able to expand the map. And after you create this content, you'll go into the engine and you'll start creating it. And the Hero Engine is special because it's not just like an editor. You're a client connected to our server. And the edits are done sort of the way that it's done in Minecraft. So even 100 people at once, or probably a bit less, but that's the technical info I know, can edit the game world. So imagine that you and your friends are simply going through the world, and they're editing it with tools like the ones found in Skyrim Creation Kit. So you'll be able to make the world with your friends. And after you finish creating the content, the entire edit history, which is simply, Control Z, Control Y, it's not. We don't even have to make it. It's already in the engine. We simply have to twitch it. Will be inserted into another special forum with moderators from the player community who will judge, item by item if the assets that were arranged in the quest simply make sense. If you did not troll around doing it, and if it gets submitted, like the official world builder or a quest designer will receive the whole content on his desk and will take minutes, maybe an hour, to implement an entire quest directly into the game. So thanks to this, we will be able to achieve a constant world expansion with a massive amount of content created with less need, with less people in the studio. And we'll be able to provide you with great experience. Now, there are two things that I have to mention as in the system. If simply you if you don't create a content, you'll have a month to create this quest. If you don't create the content, then someone else will get the chance to finish the quest. According to
that way you don't have half-done work?
Exactly. I'll get to it in lore explanation in a moment, but there will be no half-finished work, and that's pretty important, for the whole system to have everything consistent. Now, if someone else finishes the quest, you'll get half of the reward he gets for creating the quest. So even if he wins a gaming PC for making this quest, then you'll still get a headset or something.
Okay, so gaming PC, this is something brand new that you haven't mentioned before.
Yeah, I'll get to it. So basically our idea is, because the development costs are large and games earn a lot. I can tell you this, that League of Legends earns around $200 million a month. And they spend $2 million a year or more, maybe, I don't know how much, on the League of Legends championships to attract more players and simply give them a chance to compete for real money. So we want to spend 10% of the entire game budget, that anything we get, 10%, a fixed rate, on player rewards. So even if we get $2 million in this Kickstarter campaign, then we would plan on spending $200,000 on gaming rewards. Now, we'll be able, of course, to get some discounts from Alienware and other companies because we'll be buying bulks, and it's also marketing for them, so we can do it cheaper. But basically, we want to give a big portion of what we get to the players who expand the game world. So this game will give a chance to modders who were creating those mods for free to actually get something from it and still have their own lives without having to go into the game industry. And we'll take out the hardest part, which is creating a massive library of assets, because that's something that programming and making art, 3D art, is very time consuming, and you simply need to spend your entire life doing it to do it right. So we'll take out the hardest part and allow the players to do it. So with a budget like let's say $200,000 a month, if it goes to the scale, then we'll be able to give away 200 GTX Titans to the player community. Now, with a sum like this, or if we are able to give away, the best quest of the week or of the day, will receive a gaming PC. Now, considering that Skyrim alone had 10,000 mods created within 1 year, I'm not saying that they were all good, because most of them were unplayable at all. I'm saying that the modders will simply get a part of it. And that's a different approach, something that has never been done before.
So tell me, when the game is released, what's the monetization platform? Do I have to buy it, or is it a subscription, or is it free to play?
So my idea is to make a free-to-play game, because, well, the more players we have, the more we'll be able to expand it. And necessarily not everyone is able to spend $15 a month, but some will be able to spend $100 a month. So this will be even, and free-to-play games earn more money than pay-to-play games. It's official as of the year, I think, 2012. So the game itself will be free-to-play, not pay-to-win. Just like, well, 2 games were successful with this model, League of Legends and Club Penguin. Say what you want that that's not a game, but it was worth, I think, $300 million to Disney. So it's a popular game for certain kids and a successful one. And we want to sell you goods that will be making the game more pleasurable, unlike making it, winnable. So there are a few things that we might mention later, like the shade mode, which will allow you to go faster within the world. Your character simply loses his physical form, and he'll be able to have different skins for this shade mode. And you'll be in this stage a lot, and it's everyone will look the same. But if you want to look better, then you'll simply have to buy a skin. So that's one of the features. And one of the other things we want to do is, as a RuneScape player, I'll start off with this. I was playing RuneScape, and I can say that the amount of trolls, dots, and hacker wannabes is significantly smaller when you play on a premium world. So the premium world will not be different from a free-to-play world, but it will have all those players that care about the game and do not troll around. So it will be around $5 a month to play on a premium world without login queues and all the toxic situations. And that will be the most important monetization aspect. There will also be the premium house, all the character upgrades you can get, like a better hairstyle, pets, anything you can think of when it comes to character customization. Better skins for your armor, etc.
So now, the game, of course, has not been developed yet.
No.
I have seen some gameplay videos and lots of concept art and stuff. And I actually have at the end of this, I'll be showing some of the concept art. Now, you're doing this on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And it's a $2 million ask.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. That's a pretty lofty goal.
It is. I have to say that it's probably going to be, if it gets funded, then it will be definitely the biggest Kickstarter campaign as in the amount of backers, because we'll give the players a chance to pledge $1, and there is something I call the kiss my ass tire. Sorry for the word, but yeah. Basically, if someone says, "Okay, give us $5 for an official thank you," it's like kiss my ass for $5. And I get a lot of emails, and I don't need to get an email with thank you, because I get that from some other people. So basically, for $1, you'll be able to get a castle skin for your house, bless you, a castle skin for your house, nickname reservation, a Kickstarter exclusive rare item, which will be a discontinued item in the game, something to store the money, so to speak, in the economy, and you'll simply get a lot during this campaign. because I'm not saying that we can print money, but we can print rewards. So there will be no physical tires until the $500 tire. But we want to get as many players as it is possible to make this game a possibility. So we head on to getting around 200,000 backers to even think about launching the game. If we don't gather 200,000 backers, then we're not going to make the game. Mm-hmm. And basically, the Kickstarter allows you to gather money directly from the players, and you don't have to go to investors, mostly angel investors, who would invest in your product, because I try to do everything from my own pocket. That's why we don't have a working demo. Because if I went to an angel investor, then I would most definitely have problems with him. Like, okay, the monetization cannot be free to play, and I would have to persuade him why the free to play monetization system would work, and why don't we need a subscription rate or something else. So I didn't want to tie myself to an investor who would have a better idea how to make the game. And with Kickstarter, we'll be able to get the necessary funds to start the game. And even if we go out to a bigger investor who would invest money in a AAA development, as in, multiple millions of dollars, then we will still have our own capital and we'll be the partners, will not be the puppies. So that's an important aspect for the developers, because I don't really want to tell the investors that my idea is better, because that's always something you have to do. And that's the thing we want to achieve with Kickstarter. And $2 million is not a lot, considering that Star Wars: The Old Republic, created by BioWare EA, was somewhere between $500 million and $1.2 billion unofficially. So $2 million and even $30 million is nothing compared to the sum that was used for The Old Republic or World of Warcraft. As for crowdfunding, it may be a lot, but for MMO development, it's simply nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, so the Kickstarter is up right now.
Yeah,
and,
it is.
For those of you who are watching, if you're watching on TV or on your phone or something, you can't click the link, but the logo in here will take you directly to the Kickstarter campaign. And then there's also a link in the description. So is there any final stuff that we haven't touched on that you want to make sure and let people know about?
Well, there are the discontinued items and the economy. You're most excited about the economy, as far as I remember. Well, you trade currency, so that's something important to you, I think. Mm-hmm. So we want to create an open economy, just like the one in RuneScape or EVE Online. But let's say that RuneScape will be something closer to it, because the game is not going to be a clone of any other game, but it will have a lot of aspects from other games that I played and I know a lot. Mm-hmm. So basically, we want to make a global economy that would be based on a system of... Oh, never mind. But okay, sorry, I got stumped. So we want to base the economy on an open trade system between multiple worlds. Everything will be possible because we'll create a stock exchange system, kind of like the Grand Exchange from RuneScape. Mm-hmm. We'll simply make it a bit more sandbags, so to speak, with less trade limits imposed on the whole community. And we want to maintain a global price through a stock exchange system. Say you want to sell or buy an item for stock gold pieces, doesn't matter how much that is. So you want to sell an item for 100 gold pieces, or someone wants to buy this item for 99. Now, because you're selling the item for 100 gold pieces, then the person who wants to buy it for 99 has to wait before someone else posts this item for 99 pieces or less. But if someone wants to buy the item for 120 gold pieces and your price is still there for 100 gold pieces, then you'll simply sell it for the median price between your bidding price of the item you're selling and the price of the person who's buying it. So it will be 120 plus 100 divided by 2, and what we get is 110. So we want to have this economy working globally, mostly through a global stock system. Now, the prices will change depending on the demand and supply, just like it's done with every other stock market. And another important aspect are the discontinued items, which some will tell me, okay, you're doing this game pay to win. Now, every Kickstarter backer will receive a discontinued item, like party guts from RuneScape, or simply a discontinued item, an item that will
and when you say discontinued item, it doesn't mean that it's like removed from the game. What it means is there's no more being created.
Exactly, the source is discontinued. So it's like a one-time coin that was created 100 years ago, and the price always rises, unless the material is simply worth less money. So some may say that it will be pay to win, but basically we'll still have to create this system, because it's simply the best way to keep the inflation off track. There are also other money things that we will use, but that's the most important thing for the whole, let's say, economy. And basically, if you invest your money in the Kickstarter, then until the level 200, we'll distribute certain rewards called the God set. And the God set is simply an epic armor. I think that you might have the concept art somewhere, this gold armor. Which will simply be tradable with other players. And if you pay $1, then you'll get the first part of it. And most likely, the boot will always be worth $1. And you'll be able to sell it later. We'll have no objections if you sell it on eBay, anywhere else. We don't really care about it. I mean, there's no reason to say that players are selling stuff, we should ban them. It's stupid. But if you pay $10, then you'll get another part of the God set, plus beta access. And when you pay $100, then you'll simply have 6 of those items. And then when you pay $200, then you'll have the full armor with all the items from the set. And as the game gets older, then there will be less of those items. Some people will quit, and eventually other players who want to have this armor will simply pay more money for it. And that's one sort of that's one thing we want to give to the Kickstarter backers who will simply make this game possible.
Okay. Well, it sounds good. So, what is your projected timeline?
So, basically, the development process will be split into 3 stages. Actually, 4, but there will be the alpha, gamma version, and closed beta version. You'll be able to buy access to those stages through the Kickstarter tires. But basically, in the first time we started, we want to go to the alpha. So 6 months from the Kickstarter end, we'll launch the alpha stage of the game. And once we simply are ready with the alpha, you'll be able to do some basic stuff like dungeoneering, and you'll go into dungeons, kill some stuff, and probably do the basic quest. And with the NevKit editor, because that's how we call the world editor, you'll be able to simply create some instance dungeons and raids. No complex stuff involved. And after the next 6 months, we'll head on to the gamma version of the game, which should be more or less what you'll see in not the final product, but it will be the game in an overall scope that we want to show you. We'll probably create a big city where you'll start, and you'll be able to explore it, and some other areas for you to explore. But it will still not be the massive world that I'm talking about, like 15,000 square miles. It will be smaller. So everything will be done gradually. And in Gamma stage, we'll have most of the game systems ready, but the game will still be unbalanced. So although we will be able to play it, there will be lots of bugs and other things that should be patched. And basically, we'll take our time to clean it up. And after 1.5 years, we should have everything ready, or most of the things ready. and we'll head on to the beta stage, which will be a closed beta for any player to explore the game world. And possibly, if any bug comes by, we'll simply reset all the things that you have simply done, and your character stats will be reset if something happens. But certainly the beta will be a chance for you to be 2 months ahead of everyone else. So yeah, there will be 3 stages, and after that we'll simply expand the game world constantly as the game progresses and the game development progresses.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Mikołaj, thank you very much.
Thank you very
I
much
appreciate
for
your
the
time
interview.
today and doing this interview.
Thank you.
So everybody's watching. You can click the links to see the Kickstarter campaign, and it's how much is it? What's the lowest amount you can pledge to actually get beta access?
$1. I mean, the access. So in order to get beta access, you'll simply have to pledge $10.
Okay.
And this will be beta access. Or you simply have to be my friend, so that's another thing.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, I'll give you one. It's fine. You don't have to pledge. But for $10, you'll simply get beta access, and you'll be able to play it. For $20, you'll get beta Nevkit access. So the World Edition toolset will be available to you in the beta stage for just $20. Then all the rewards are listed in the end of the Kickstarter page. They are very long. We have over 80 different rewards for the Kickstarter campaign itself. I can tell you that Torment had 25, I think. So it was very hard to stuff all those rewards in one place. But for 75, I think it's the last tier where you will get all the alpha. For $150, you'll get the alpha stage of the Nevkit editor, and you'll be able to edit the world in the first stage of the game. So if you're a modder, then that might interest you.
Yeah.
If you're a diehard MMO player, then the $200 tier might interest you, where you'll get the full armor. Okay. And there are some other rewards like Mr. Pug reward that might be to all dog lovers. You'll see it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the rewards.
Well, thank you very much again.
Thanks.
And everybody go check it out.
And subscribe to Market Dragon, yeah.
Oh, gee. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, and on the way out here, we've got some music that will appear in the game, some music from the game, as well as concept art, and enjoy.